Did that human just pet a Klein death beast? The assembly room of the Galactic Council fell into stunned silence. Eyes, stalks, and sensory appendages of various species turned toward the central screen, replaying the footage in an endless loop. There it was, clear as the cosmos. A human standing casually before a Klein death beast, scratching behind its nightmarish horns as if it were a domesticated pet. Counselor Veer of the Zorthian Collective, a species known for their logical detachment, shifted uncomfortably in his containment pod. "This behavior defies all known survival instincts," he said, his voice modulating through the collective's translator. "The Cathan death beast is one of the most dangerous creatures in the known universe. Its aggression is unmatched, and its venomous spines can penetrate even the toughest armor. Yet here we see a human," added Zarax, a towering reptilian figure from the Drar Dominion, his scaled lips curling in disbelief, petting it as one would a common household animal. "Perhaps the footage is doctored," suggested another council member, the bioluminescent Cayenne ambassador, her tendrils dimming in skepticism. "No, the footage is genuine," responded Admiral Gav, the human representative, with a bemused grin. "I can vouch for it. That human is one of our own. His name is Captain Jack Harper, a well-decorated explorer." Murmurs of disbelief and curiosity rippled through the assembly. The idea that humans, relatively new members of the Galactic Council, could exhibit such bizarre and reckless behavior was beyond comprehension. Gav continued, leaning forward. "You see, humans have a unique way of interacting with other species and creatures. We have a talent for establishing unexpected bonds." A holographic image of Captain Harper materialized in the center of the room, a typical human with a rugged demeanor, his hand confidently resting on the massive head of the Cathan death beast. The creature, known for its ferocity, appeared surprisingly docile. "It started when Harper's crew landed on Cathra Prime," Gav explained. "Their mission was simple: reconnaissance and potential alliance. The Cathan are formidable warriors, and their beasts are an extension of their culture's prowess. As soon as we landed," Harper's recorded voice narrated, "the scene shifting to the harsh crimson landscapes of Cathra Prime. We were surrounded by these enormous death beasts. My crew was on edge, weapons ready, but I had this gut feeling. I approached the nearest one slowly, making sure not to show any signs of threat." The council members watched in rapt attention as the hologram displayed Harper's slow, deliberate movements toward the towering beast. The creature, all fangs and spines, regarded him with what could only be described as curiosity. "I remembered something my granddad told me back on Earth," Harper continued, his voice steady. "Animals can sense your intentions. If you're calm, they'll be calm. If you're friendly, they'll respond in kind. So, I took a deep breath and reached out." Harper's hand, trembling slightly, made contact with the beast's rough skin. The creature tensed, its spines rattling ominously, but Harper didn't pull away. Instead, he began to stroke it gently, his hand moving in soothing circles. The council members watched in awe as the death beast visibly relaxed under Harper's touch, its spines retracting in a low, rumbling purr emanating from deep within its chest. "Unbelievable," muttered Verk, his containment pod glowing a faint green in contemplation. "This goes against everything we know about the Klein death beasts," added Zarax. "Their ferocity is legendary. They should have torn him apart, but they didn't," Gav said, his eyes twinkling with a mix of pride and amusement. "Humans have this knack. We call it the human touch." The assembly room erupted into a cacophony of discussions and debates. The idea that humans could pacify one of the galaxy's most dangerous creatures with mere touch was both revolutionary and alarming. The implications for interspecies diplomacy and alliance building were staggering. "I propose we investigate this further," Veer said, his logical mind already whirring with possibilities. "If humans possess this unique ability, it could be invaluable for our collective security and cooperation." "Agreed," Zarax nodded. "We must understand this phenomenon. It could change the very fabric of our interactions with hostile species." Gav leaned back, satisfied with the council's reaction. He knew this revelation was just the beginning. Humans had many more surprises in store for the galaxy, and Captain Harper's encounter was only the first chapter in a story that would reshape interstellar relations forever. As the council members debated and planned their next steps, Harper's voice echoed in Gav's mind. "Animals can sense your intentions. If only the rest of the galaxy could understand the simple truth, Baheen." Those words, "The future might be brighter than any of them could imagine." The council adjourned after deciding on two key actions: a scientific delegation to study the human touch, and a diplomatic mission to Cathra Prime to explore alliances through this newfound connection. Admiral Gav was appointed to oversee both, while Harper, of course, was to play a central role. Harper, meanwhile, had no idea of the whirlwind his actions had set into motion. Back on Cathra Prime, he was strolling through the camp, already a local legend. The Cathran warriors, initially skeptical, now regarded him with a mix of respect and curiosity. Their towering frames bristled with ceremonial armor and decorated spines, but when Harper passed, they greeted him with a nod, an unprecedented sign of camaraderie. Harper paused beside a young warrior, her death beast lounging beside her. The creature's glowing yellow eyes followed his movements, but there was no hostility, only curiosity. "They call you the Beast Speaker," the warrior said, her voice rough but not unkind. "Beast Speaker? Huh?" Harper chuckled, crouching to meet the creature's gaze. "Not sure if I'd call it that. Just took a chance, is all." The warrior tilted her head, the beads in her braided mane clicking softly. "No one else would dare." Harper smiled, resting a hand on the death beast's flank. "Guess I'm not like most people." Aboard the Galactic Council research vessel weeks later, Harper found himself in a sterile observation chamber, flanked by scientists from every corner of the galaxy. Biologists, xenopsychologists, and ethologists surrounded him, their instruments humming and clicking as they recorded every detail of his interaction with another death beast. This one, a younger specimen named Merrick, had been transported under careful conditions from Cathra Prime. Harper felt the weight of their stares but kept his focus on Merrick, who paced nervously in its containment area. "Remember what I said," Harper called out to the scientist without looking back. "Intentions matter. It's not just about what you do, but how you feel when you do it." He stepped forward, ignoring the muttered protests of the more cautious researchers. Merrick's spines quivered, a warning signal Harper had come to recognize. He halted, holding his hands open and his posture relaxed. "Easy there, buddy," he murmured. "I'm not here to hurt you." Merrick sniffed the air, its massive nostrils flaring as it analyzed this strange creature before it. Harper stayed patient, letting the moment stretch until the death beast took a cautious step forward. Slowly, it extended its snout toward Harper's outstretched hand. A collective gasp filled the chamber as Merrick pressed its scaled nose into Harper's palm. "See," Harper said over his shoulder, his tone calm but laced with amusement. "It's not rocket science, it's empathy." The debate among the stars as news of Harper's abilities spread. Reactions across the galaxy were mixed. Some species, like the empathic Yellorians, hailed humans as potential peacemakers, their knack for connection seen as a boon to interspecies relations. Others, like the warlike Drar Dominion, viewed the phenomenon with suspicion. If humans could tame the untamable, what else might they be capable of? On their homeworld, the Cathan leaders invited a delegation from the Galactic Council to witness their creatures' newfound docility toward Harper and his team. For the first time in centuries, the Cathan discussed alliances not through strength and dominance, but through mutual understanding. The Galactic Council took note. Conversations began about deploying humans in delicate diplomatic missions. If Harper could soothe the death beast, could other humans mediate disputes between hostile civilizations? But not everyone was thrilled. A shadowy faction within the council feared the consequences of such influence. They began to spread rumors. What if the human touch wasn't natural? What if it was a manipulation? Trouble on Cathra Prime. The whispers of distrust reached Cathra Prime, where Harper was deepening his bond with the Cathan. During a joint hunt, a ritual meant to solidify respect between Cathan and their allies, Harper and his team were ambushed by rogue factions who opposed the alliance. Blaster fire erupted across the Crimson Plains, and the death beasts roared in fury. Harper dove for cover beside his Cathan ally, the young warrior he'd befriended. "This isn't your fight, human," she shouted, her spines flaring. "Like hell it's not," Harper shot back, pulling her behind a rock as a blast narrowly missed her. "We're in this together." Above them, Merrick let out an ear-splitting roar, leaping into the fray. Harper's bond with the beast proved invaluable as Merrick shielded them, deflecting attacks with its armored body. The battle raged until the A&B ushers were driven off, as Harper stood, bloodied but defiant. The Cathan warriors and their death beasts surrounded him, You risked your life for us, the young warrior said, her tone filled with wonder. Why? Because that's what we do, Harper replied, his voice firm. We stand by our friends. The legacy of the human touch. The incident solidified the Cathan Alliance and silenced many doubters in the Galactic Council. Harper's actions had proven that humans were more than just diplomats or negotiators. They were allies in the truest sense. Back aboard the council station, Admiral Gav watched as Harper addressed a crowd of representatives. It's not about taming death beasts or calming the galaxy's wildest creatures, Harper said. It's about understanding, empathy, trust. If we can learn that, even from the most ferocious beasts, then there's hope for all of us. The assembly erupted in applause. Harper's story became legend, inspiring generations of humans and aliens alike to strive for a galaxy where understanding bridged even the widest divides. But deep in the shadows of the council's chambers, the dissenting faction plotted their next move. For as much as Harper's actions had united many, they had also awakened fears, and those fears would not go quietly into the night.